Hello and welcome to another edition of Superhero Movie Review Time. I'm your host Grant Liston, a very bored Englishman. And as the title suggests, I'm going to be ranking the very worst to the very best of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Since 2008, we have had 20 individual movies from the MCU. So I've asked 10 of my good friends, and I've added in my own results to make 11 possible outcomes. And I've asked everybody to rank these films from the very worst to the very best. With this, I've implemented a scoring system. So the film they've put as the very worst gets 1 point. And the film that gets scored as the very best gets 20 points. Whoever comes in second gets 19, and third gets 18, etc, etc, and so on. What I did then was then take all 11 results and tally them up. So I know in the comment section there's going to be people saying, "Oh, but I really love Squirrel Girl, that was my favourite." Well, if it's not as high as you want it to be, I'm very, very sorry. I calculated these results and I was tearing my hair out because I love this film, but I seem to be the only person who did love this film and it ended up ranking lower than I wanted it to be. Now, I'm not going to name and shame my friends who took part in this poll, but I will be telling you guys what I personally picked in ranking order. And just so you don't have to go skipping backwards and forwards, I will put it all in the description below. So, without further ado, here is an unbiased opinion from the very worst at number 20 to the very best at number 1 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, at number 20, with 26 points, surely it's a no-brainer, it's The Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton. This film is just boring. I personally ranked this as the worst. This was 1 point for me. This got the number 20 spot for me, as many others. One person, though, did give it 8 points, so they thought it was better than some, but still pretty low. But still, 26 points. That's bad. At number 19 is Thor the Dark World with 36 points. I actually put this as the third worst film, so I actually gave it 3 points in total. One of my friends decided to give it a 15. I'm starting to think they either didn't take this contest seriously, or they just wanted to watch me struggle doing maths. The sequel to a kind of underwhelming yet very typical fish out of water storyline, Thor the Dark World didn't give us anything new. It was high off the trail of Avengers Assemble, and the villain was crap, the effects were meh, and it was a completely different tone from the first Thor film. It was clearly a different director, clearly a different style. It didn't really feel right from his predecessor. And number 18 is Iron Man 2 with 64 points. Yeah, this was absolutely rubbish. I actually scored it 4 points myself. Yeah, once again, like The Dark World, it didn't offer anything as a sequel to me. The villains were lackluster, even though the trailers alone sold Whiplash as this terrifying villain. I was like, yeah, Mickey Rourke's going to do really well. He was barely in it, and what was with the whole, "I want my bird, have you seen my bird? Where's my bird?" Nobody cared about the bird. However, another one of my friends actually gave this 15 points as well, and I'm not going to name and shame them, but why? And you know you did that. No. At number 17 with 74 points is Iron Man 3. I do not like Iron Man 3. I gave it 2 points. I made this my second worst film, honestly. It's slightly better than The Incredible Hulk, because The Incredible Hulk is just bad, okay? With Iron Man 3, I don't care that it's Shane Black, who directed this film. I don't care that Robbie Downey Jr. comes back for a third time as Iron Man. I just don't care. And my hatred does not stem typically from the Mandarin. And that's because I don't really know enough about the Mandarin to get that upset. As far as I'm aware, the Mandarin is what the Joker is to the Batman. He's Iron Man's greatest foe, his deadliest adversary. The twist, however, having him as an actor, I thought was brilliant, until you remember that he actually shot somebody on television. Method actor or bad writing, you decide. I don't care either way. But having Aldrich Killian as the main villain, it was just so I just didn't care. And it was like he's gone from Iron Man 1, the origin story, acceptable. Iron Man 2, a continuation of the story, which was pretty pants, it didn't go anywhere, to I'm fighting fire demons in this one, was just like, alright, calm down. I think it's better than maybe Iron Man 2, but not by much. So I can understand why everybody voted it this way. But yeah, it definitely deserves bottom 5 billing. At number 16 with 75 points, one more than Iron Man 3, is Ant-Man. I do remember seeing an interview with Nathan Fillion. Well, I say see, it was written down. I have no actual footage to show this, and I kind of hope it is true. But apparently, Nathan Fillion was offered the role as Ant-Man and turned it down because it's Ant-Man. Yeah, this film didn't exactly do itself justice. I actually refer to this film as Honey, I Shrunk the Iron Man because it was just Iron Man. Take away the terrorists and the war propaganda and stop selling weapons to the military. You literally have weapons being sold in the black market, which is fairly similar. The villain was just a carbon copy in the same suit, much like Iron Man. You know, it just had this whole feel of it, and all it was missing was Rick Moranis. You know, like it was just so family-friendly orientated, and okay, like as a genre film, it did very well as the family-friendly, fun-filled adventure. Say that 3 times fast, Jesus. I actually gave this 6 points in the end because I thought, it's better than some other films, and Paul Rudd is hilarious. I'm never going to say a bad word about Paul Rudd. He does make me laugh. In this film, I just didn't care. This was like a... Okay, so we had Age of Ultron, now we're going to sort of wait until the next big one. Here's some more filler. Enjoy the filler. Enjoy it. At number 15 with 76 points, only one more than Ant-Man, is Avengers Age of Ultron. Now this is where it gets tricky for me because I remember leaving the cinema with my cousin and a friend, and my cousin and my friend were rabbit. Oh, this was incredible, much better than the first one. I left it disappointed. I thought, well, that didn't live up to expectations, did it? That was a bit lackluster. I wanted so much to enjoy Ultron's performance, I really did, but there was just something off with it. And to this day, I still can't pinpoint it. I don't know whether it was his eventual plan. I don't know whether it was just Joss Whedon ran out of steam. I genuinely don't know why I didn't enjoy this film as much as I wanted to. I still found it hilarious. Oh, the comedy is on point once again. But the film just lacked. I think they made Thor look like a bit of a joke. They toned down his powers. Cap was really, really useless, like trying to get Ultron in a sleeper hold. I mean, he's a robot. I'm fairly certain he doesn't have a sleep mode. Why would he insert that into himself? That came out dirty there. I mean, but you know what I mean, guys. I myself actually gave this 9 points, so it's not too far off the scoring system, but we'll press on. At number 14 with 80 points is Thor. This surprised me. This film was getting, across the board, this was with this poll, across the board was getting mediocre reviews. I actually put it in my bottom 5, so it's actually jumped quite a lot. I gave it 5 points, okay, and it ended up with 80, so 75 points unaccounted for, until, once again, and you know who you are, gave it 17 points. 17 points out of 20 to Thor. You know who you are, you should be ashamed of yourself. But no, I do joke. Thank you so much, guys, for getting involved with this poll, but you did not make this easy for me, did you? At number 13 with 90 points is Captain America: The First Avenger. Yeah, pretty solid film. Not too surprised of where it's landed itself in the actual polls and listings. I do genuinely believe to this day it's got one of the best endings. Obviously, there's better, I know, but endings to a film where he wakes up in the present day and he's completely confused with his surroundings and Nick Fury introduces himself and it ends with that whole, I had a date. And it just sets up the Avengers so perfectly. I mean, oh, goosebumps just remembering and thinking, Okay, the film was mediocre at best. It's not. I know it's not one of the better films. It's number 13 in the list. But it's just that ending. That ending was, it just nailed it. Oh, it's how it should have ended. It was perfect. At number 12 with 96 points is Doctor Strange. I like Doctor Strange. I love Benedict Cumberbatch. Huge Benedict Cucumber Patch. I like him. I can't even say his name too many times. It gives me a headache. But the film, yeah, as an origin, shows you what he can do. I wasn't too aware of Doctor Strange and what his powers are. It's cool to see all the things he can do, and in terms of likeness from the comic to the actor, wow, they've taken him from the book and plastered him on the screen. That's really good to see. Like any huge fans of Doctor Strange, I reckon that was a nice little touch for them. Okay. The special effects blew me away. They really did. They were incredible. The magic, the bending of the towers and the buildings, beautiful. Like the idea of different realms, it just opens up the universe to something massive, fantastic. But they still did kung fu. That's the one thing I have a problem with all of these Avenger films, is the fight styles, because they all fight exactly the same apart from Thor, Hulk and Iron Man. If you're not any of those three, you're kung fu, right? But almost everybody else, unless they use like a gun or a sword for example, if anything hand to hand, it's like Thor does like the most ungainly, kicks. They're not really fluid, are they? Hulk smashes, that's fine, and Iron Man flies, beams and pushes quite a lot. Rarely, so maybe a punch. But everybody else is kung fu and jiu-jitsu, and yeah, they introduced magic with jiu-jitsu, but it's just like, I've seen this all before. You can't mask it with all the flashiness. It was just another martial arts film, and I was kind of hoping for more inventive fighting. However, the best character in the film does not speak, and that is his cape. The cape was brilliant. At number 11, with 100 points, we get into the good stuff now, right? Ant-Man and the Wasp. The most recent entry into the MCU. Okay, I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to spit it. I enjoyed this a lot more than I thought I would. I did not like Ant-Man, as if you rewind or if you've got good memories, you remember, I don't like it. I don't. This film was inventive. All of my issues with Doctor Strange, as I just said, was that it wasn't inventive enough in terms of fight sequences. And with Ant-Man, yeah, it shrunk some stuff, it made some stuff go a little bit bigger, like with the tank. But this is where they went, okay, what can we really do? And I'm not talking about a giant Hello Kitty Pez dispenser, which was ruined by the trailers. But I'm really looking into this, like the cars that go different sizes, the whole building shrinking down to a suitcase. And weirdly enough, it was perfect in the sense of the typical trope of Marvel's villains not being that good. They deliberately made this like a cartoon caper from the 60s. The villains were so bad. Not like, the bad guys are here. No, they're just like, oh god, the bad guys are here again. These guys were awful. But it was like a ploy in itself. Like that, we know they're bad. We expect them to be bad, and they literally wrote into it a bunch of normal guy thugs trying to steal the shrinking technology. And by far one of the best Stan Lee cameos as well. Just, if you haven't seen it, I'm not spoiling it for you, go and watch that cameo, it's brilliant. Once again, storyline wise not perfect, but just enjoyable, and that's what you want out of a cinema experience. You want to go there and have fun, and this film brought some fun back. Are you ready? Drum roll. It's the top 10. Oh, here we go. So, at number 10, with 131 points, is Black Panther. This film is raiding all the Oscars and all the awards. It's doing very well for itself. I remember thinking, that was really good. If you look at Black Panther from Civil War, and look at Black Panther from here, there's definite changes. He looks slightly less like a Power Ranger. Good. But his fighting style from Civil War to Black Panther, same again. In Civil War, he had this weird capoeira style of fighting, which was really intricate. Here, Kung Fu. Yeah, Kung Fu again. Seen it once, you've seen them all. There is nothing new to this way of fighting. It really, and the other thing that got me as well, I'm not big on CGI and special effects. I'm more of an actor watcher. I like watching acting, I like listening to the story and the dialogue. I'm invested in that, really. And don't get me wrong, some effects do wow me and some effects make me go, ugh. This film was the latter, I'm afraid. And it's Avatar-like ending with the fight in Wakanda. I checked out by then, I was like, yeah, I'm done. It did, however, bring something new to a Marvel Universe film, which is the villain. How can you bring up Black Panther without bringing up Killmonger? Fucking hell. And that's my one for the list. What a performance from Michael B. Jordan. I don't know where this performance came from. I don't even know the character he's portraying, but wow. That villain stole the show with his passionate delivery, with every line, the gravitas he pulled, like every eye was on him at all times when he was on the screen. He just captured it. Brilliant. So, at number 9 with 137 points, and please do not kill me, I rated this higher, many of my friends rated this higher, but the overall scoring system did not go in this film's favour. Please do not judge me, okay? But number 9, with 137 points, Captain America and the Winter Soldier. I know, you're like, what, really? But this isn't my opinion, this is the opinion of the poll, the group. This is 11 scores. I gave it 17 points, okay? I tried. One of my friends gave it a 20. The highest billion, this is his favourite film out of all 20. And this film ends up at number 9. Okay, so I will try and be a bit unbiased here. It's got a bit of a slow pace at times. It's kind of methodical. I know full well there's a few anti-Captain America fans out there. They really, really don't like the character and think the Shield's kind of goofy, and they don't think that Chris Evans is a good actor. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. I disagree with their opinion. That's much more as I can say on that one. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fantastic. I didn't like how it was basically a James Bond movie for its final act. But yeah, it makes sense why they went that way. And once again, I think the PR stuff with the adverts and the trailers, I think if they could have hidden Bucky's identity better as the Winter Soldier, I think that would have brought more people in, because I'm not familiar with some of these comics, okay? I'm English, I didn't grow up in America where they've got access to it all, okay? I grew up with X-Men, so that's all I really know. I really don't know much about Captain America apart from these movies. So as soon as I saw that trailer, I went, that's Bucky. You can't even disguise that. That was Bucky. You can just tell. Give him the long hair, give him the panda eyes, it's still Bucky. If they could have hidden it better, maybe just shown the arm, so the comic book fans will know, and they'll be like, we know what's coming. People like me will be like, God damn, when you first see him, that's Bucky! Mind blown! They're my only real complaints, I guess. At number 8 with 139 points, only 2 more than a Winter Soldier, Iron Man. Okay, respect where respect is due. I gave this 10 points. One of my friends actually gave it 20. He adores Iron Man, and your opinion is noted. However, no, I'll keep on the good stuff first. Okay, yeah, it was the Trailblazer, okay? It was the first film of the MCU. It deserves all the respect. Robbie Downey Jr. is Iron Man. It's got a really, really good ending. It also has Gwyneth Paltrow. That's right, I've done a top 10 list, and Gwyneth Paltrow is in that top 10. A little bit ashamed of myself. However, this is an unbiased list. I'm sticking to my gut. I could have fudged this. I could have fudged these results by my feet, but no, I'm being professional. Iron Man number 1 is 9th in the list. I'm struggling to think of good things to say about it. I kind of thought when I got to top 10 it'd be really easy to roll off the tongue, but I wasn't a fan. Once again, Robbie Downey Jr. is fine. He's fine. He's perfect as Iron Man. What am I saying? But the film just lacked for me. No, I think it had a good pace, it had good action, a good pace. That's about it, really. I'm not really a fan. And number 7, with 144 points, it's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. 7. Doesn't even get to the top 5. No, screw this! I don't want to do it anymore! I'm a lot calmer now. I gave this 19 points. This is my second favourite film. I'll admit that how do you put this? The soundtrack isn't as catchy as number 1. That's the only negative I can think about it. The soundtrack alone has actually grown on me. I actually prefer some of the songs from the first one. This film, when I came out of the cinema after watching this film, I was in love. Genuinely in love with this film. It's crazy, it's goofy, it's funny, the action is fantastic. The villain was so much fun. Ego the Living Planet, played by Kurt freaking Russell. And it's 7th in the top 20. Okay, it's over halfway, yeah, I know, but this is my second favourite film. And I really, really prefer this to number 1. Number 1 came out of nowhere. I know that it deserves all the respect it gets. I'd switch these two around every day of the week because I'll get into number 1 later, as you know, it's still to come. But number 2 just had so much more, and it's got possibly the only emotional death in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Quicksilver died, who cared? Every Marvel villain died, no one cared. No one was like, oh no, was that to see him go? And with Loki, for example, we're like, yeah, we know he's coming back again, so we don't care. We know he's back. Yondu. When Yondu died, it was emotional. It was tragic. And it's number 7 in the list. I gave it 19 points. At number 6, with 151 points, is Captain America Civil War. This is an interesting one. I actually gave this 15 points. I was quite happy with that score. It's kind of strange though, watching this in cinema, and this is actually one of the comic books I do own, so watching the film, reading the comics, I see where they had to change up. It was more of a civil scuffle than a war, but it was still cool. However, upon further viewings, it's really slow. It's a slow burning film. Yeah, you could probably call it Avengers 2.5. Yeah, I wouldn't put anyone past that. It's a strange one though, isn't it? It's a very, there's no real conventional villain, and the villain's motivations are really obvious. I know, like, obviously Iron Man 1, every time you see Obadiah Stane, like, there's the villain, you don't have to tell me, you can just know, like, the music changes or the persona changes, you're not shocked that that's the villain, but this guy literally goes, okay, this is the villain, he's doing villain things, and he's the villain. Great. The kind of shock that the Winter Soldier was the one who killed Tony's parents. It's a great usage of why Tony wants to kill the Winter Soldier, granted, and the end fight between the three of them is glorious. I mean, really, really good. I don't know, just upon further viewings, I actually kind of realised, yeah, this film kind of has like 3 key moments, that being the introduction of Spider-Man, the fight at the airport, and the final scene with like them with the triple threat fight with Winter Soldier, Cap, and Iron Man. The rest of the film is really boring. Yeah, it's kind of slow. So at number 5, with 157 points, is Avengers Assemble. Yeah. It's a good film. I mean, I think this suffers from the Force Awakens problems, where when it came out, everybody was scared. Everybody was like, they're going for it. I literally think of like these exact phrases, like, risky move, this film, you know, they've not really done this in a while, like, this is the first time they're going to try something like this, you know. When The Force Awakens comes out, they're like, oh, they're going back, they're going to try and reboot a franchise, so this is risky business. They're very similar discussion points, and boom, it hits cinema. Everybody watches it. Everybody and their mum falls in love with this. And then the years pass by, and then suddenly you get the people going, it was just a new hope. And then you get the whole, it was like watching Buffy, wasn't it? It was very Joss Whedon, wasn't it? Well, it was directed by Joss Whedon. What do you expect? It's like watching a Tarantino movie and going, oh, there's blood everywhere. Watching a Michael Bay movie and going, there's no story in this movie. You've got to expect that. Avengers Assemble did something no other film could do. I gave it 16 points. It made my top 5. You know, it just... You talk about Iron Man, need to give Iron Man respect for the trailblazer. You've got to do the same for Avengers Assemble then. This was the first real team-up movie apart from X-Men. You know, they really went for it, and it was a success. It was, in my opinion, I thought it was quite safe, which can be said again for Force Awakens. It was very similar to A New Hope. Yes, it was almost identical to A New Hope in places. But did you have fun? Did you enjoy it? And did you enjoy the new elements? Much like with Avengers, you loved Iron Man, you sat through Thor, you kind of appreciate Captain America. You sat there thinking, oh good, another Hulk movie. But you put them all together, and that's when it clicks, and that's when it's brilliant. Loki as the villain leading the charge on New York. I still remember watching the Battle of New York in cinema. I watched it 3 times in cinema. Fell in love every time. It is just so damn good. I admit it's got faults. I admit it looks like it's shot for television. I know full well that, once again, people don't like safe. They like to be challenged in movies. But sometimes, just sometimes, you need to go, yeah. But what we got, it was damn good. At number 4, and I was really, really surprised at how good this film was, but it's Spiderman Homecoming. I'm not a Spider-Man fan. I've said this in one of my other videos that I only ever got to watch Spider-Man cartoons and old Superman movies. So, and of course they're like the poster children of their respective companies, and they're kind of lame to me. I want to see something dark and gritty. I like my Batman, I like my X-Men, I like something like you can sink your teeth into. So, after 3 Tobey Maguires and 2 Andrew Garfields, I was still very much underwhelmed. Yeah. Then they brought out Homecoming. It's a lot of fun. In my opinion though, this film is saved by Michael Keaton as the Vulture. And I like the whole kid logic side of this, you know, where we actually experience his thoughts and his ideas as a growing child before just becoming, you know, 30-year-old Tobey Maguire trying to be 15-year-old Peter Parker. You know, we experience Tom Holland growing up. You know, I'm hoping we get so many more films with him because we can see him really evolve as this character. At number 3 with 175 points, Thor Ragnarok. I get out of breath watching this film through pure laughter. From the sarcastic remarks of Hela to Thor just being Thor, Loki being Loki. The Hulk's in it as well, where the actual good Hulk movie where he's beating crap up. And then you get the Grandmaster. Need I say more about such a film that clearly the studio just wanted to rush out so you'd be sated until Infinity War comes out? Literally, Black Panther and Thor Ragnarok were bum rushed out into the studio so people would be like, they'd still be like, oh, we're waiting for Infinity War, waiting for Thanos. Give us something we can sink our teeth into. And that's what we got. We got these 2 movies, and I guarantee you, nobody at Marvel thought these films would be as big as they are. One origin story and one, yeah, let's just wheel him out. He's had 2 bad turns, let's see what we can do. And this is by far the strongest film in the trilogy. How many films can you truly say that about? Right, we talk about A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. People say Return of the Jedi was terrible. Godfather Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. Everyone hated Part 3. One I can actually say I personally loved in terms of trilogies was the Wolverine trilogy. I did not like Wolverine Origins. I detested the Wolverine, but Logan was amazing. Thor Ragnarok does that too. At number 2 with 188 points is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. Yep, I know I had my little freak out about number 2. So I'm going to just talk about the positives of number 1. Cracking soundtrack, incredible cast, great action, fairly safe story, all round damn good fun, which came out of nowhere. Oh, damn so well, respect is due here. And I do. I respect this film. I think it's fantastic. Villain sucks though. And at number 1 with 199 points is, of course, Avengers Infinity War. Yeah, it was my number 1 pick as well. I gave this 20 points. So many people gave this 20 points. I remember talking to my friend Trev, who plays Black Rage in many of my videos, that we never thought we'd get an Avengers movie. We always thought the episode called Justice in Smallville, where you saw a version of The Flash, Superman, Green Arrow and Cyborg, Aquaman all team up to take on Lex Luthor. And we both said that was the closest we'd ever get to a superhero team up. That's 5 characters, a one-person show, that's Clark Kent's show, with 4 cameos, let's just say that, because they weren't weekly fixtures, and if they weren't for long. Then we got introduced to Avengers Assemble, and we were sitting there going, six heroes. How are they going to evenly spread the time about? Okay, Hawkeye and Black Widow didn't get nearly enough as Iron Man did. But between the main 3, screen time was shared pretty damn well, and everyone got a moment to shine. Everyone got a moment of, that was epic. Even the Hawkeye did. Leave Hawkeye alone! When we saw the cast list for Infinity War, we panicked. This is going to be a jumble. This is going to be like Spiderman 3, too many villains, not enough screen time. What are they thinking? They can't do this. Everything's been building up to Thanos, and he's just going to be generic bad guy number 7 with his big muscles. Oh my god, were we wrong. And so happy I was. Josh Brolin knocked out the park as Thanos. Oh wow, this guy. He is the main character. You do realise that of Infinity War. He made this film what it is. It's brilliant. How they managed to... I will say though, I actually called the opening 10 minutes. Everything from Thor's ship being attacked by Thanos, Thanos killing Loki and Hulk being sent back to Earth to warn the Avengers. I called all of that and everyone called me nuts. I also had a disagreement about Vision and Scarlet Witch's relationship. I said, oh, they're together now. My other friend said, I got a uncle-niece relationship vibe from them. Maybe in Austria, but the way they spread this film about was clearly meant for, well, for me, the most exciting parts were the Guardians and Iron Man's arc. And of course they put them two together really, that was really cool. Thor's one was sporadic. Thor got, he obviously opened the show and then kind of got reduced parts throughout. Still a lot of fun. Captain America's parts annoyed me. I wanted to see what Cap was really going to do, and okay, the fight on Wakanda was great, and the whole "Bring me Thanos!" Just gets me every time. So cool, just brilliant. And once again, the humour's great as well, and there's shocks, twists, turns, and moments where the film really slows down, not to a stop, but just builds up this tension, and everything really comes full circle. Like after Thanos has killed Gamora, and he's laying in that little pond, and he's got the Soul Stone in his hand. And everyone's just like, how much time have you got left to be just sitting there? But you don't even think about that. You're absorbed in the moment. Everything's really slow and bringing it down. And even when Thanos beats Doctor Strange and gets the Time Stone off of him, and he teleports to Earth, and then just dun, and just that whole build up and just breezing past the Avengers. He didn't need an army, but just thought, I can't be bothered to do it, and then had to, okay, everyone died, I've got to do it myself now. It's just brilliant. It really is. Even the ending where everyone drops, and it's also led us on a whole year-long anticipation for Captain Marvel, which comes out in cinemas soon. I'm going to get my ticket, can't wait to see it myself. I'm going to try and do a before and after as well, like I used to. I miss doing them videos. I haven't been to the cinema in ages. But all I can say is, thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to like, subscribe, and as always, leave me them dirty comments. And I'll see you all next time. Take care now.